Tonight, finding out that Rainbow Youth need your help. Hi everyone, welcome to the program. I'm Andrew Whiteside. Well, my guest is Duncan Mathews. He's the head of Rainbow Youth, which is a queer youth advocacy group here in New Zealand. Rainbow Youth is an out and proud organisation that's been supporting young gay people for years. But money is tight and this important group needs everyone's support. Duncan, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Andrew. It's great to be here.
I just wanted to kick off by having a very quick look at Rainbow Youth because it's a very important organisation for our young people. And so I wanted to know briefly what the organisation's about and what the key things that the organisation needs to continue its work.
Rainbow Youth is all about creating safe spaces for young people for them to be able to explore and discover who they are themselves. And that's a really important part of a young person's development when they don't have those role models necessarily in their everyday life. The second key part we're about is information and education. So people can come to us for the information they need in terms of issues generally, and also our educator going into schools and doing a bit of professional development as well.
Now, obviously that costs money, and I know that it's a lean organisation. How do you get your money, and how do you get more in order to keep those services going, really?
All of our current funding is based on grants that we apply for year to year. So we have a fundraising coordinator who applies for grants which will get us a one-off sum of anywhere from 5 through to 50k, and that's great because that's some money which we can use to pay the rent or use to pay staff or develop our whole range of things. The problem with running an organisation like that is, number one, the majority of that time that money is tagged for a particular use, so we can only use it to pay an educator, we can only use it to develop curious, we can, as it goes on. And the second point is that it's not, we've got no security around that money. So one year we might get $50,000 from an organisation, the next year we might get nothing. So an example is when the Super City was formed. In previous years we'd got an accommodation supplement from the Auckland City Council to pay for our rental. Now in 2011 we missed out on that because the Super City hadn't reorganised its practices, hadn't built that new committee, so there was nothing to apply to essentially, so that was our rental not covered for a whole year, which we had to cover by other means.
So how do you do that? Where do you get the money from if one of those funders falls over?
Yeah, we have to apply to other funders and just hope. Possibly some good timing in that the WTF campaign was launched not long after the funding from the accommodation supplement didn't come through, and so that did provide us some level of going towards covering our rent. So that does highlight the importance of that ongoing donations that we get.
It must be quite scary as an organisation though, knowing that it's not something that you can depend on from year to year.
Definitely. I mean, the people tasked with our fundraising, go to work every day knowing that they've got 6 staff to support, a centre to keep open, a few websites for hosting to pay for, all of those sort of things. And if the money doesn't come in, then that goes away. And that's not just affecting the young people who access our services, but that's affecting people's livelihoods, of our staff and things as well.
You also go to schools and do these workshops. I take it you don't go to all schools because not all schools are welcoming.
No.
What are the kinds of things that you hear when you go to these schools? What kind of receptions do you get? And what are the stories you hear from young lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people in those schools? What are you hearing?
So in terms of Rainbow Youth's education program, we do at the moment focus on schools which are happy to have us there. So King's College is one which we go and have been into for the last few years to deliver our education package to their entire Year 10 group. which is a phenomenal achievement for us. And there's a few other sort of more forward-thinking schools, which perhaps King's doesn't sound like a forward-thinking school, but it is. Other schools, because we've had such high demand for our education program, so we haven't had to worry too much about those schools which don't want us there in the last few years. We do provide support to other schools in the form of posters about Rainbow Youth, information pamphlets, general things like that.
Presumably that has to be paid for as well. So the people running those workshops are paid something.
Yes, so our educators are paid, and so it's another thing that we need funding for, to keep our educators able to be employed, go into schools, and we don't just want to. Our plan is not just have one educator going into half a dozen workshops per week. Our plan is to expand that through into 5 years' time, 3 years' time actually. Sorry, we just redone our strategy plan. So in 3 years' time, our plan is to have 4 full-time educators at Rainbow Youth going into schools and doing professional development with other health promotion organisations and businesses and anybody that's open to it, really. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on what it takes to have a happy, successful kind of life, given the fact that you're in your early or your mid-20s?
Yeah, no, I think my understanding of a happy life is being able to find fulfillment in the happiness and joy of others. If you can have that, you're pretty sorted, really. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Nice, short and sweet. That's perfect. Yeah. Duncan Mathews, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. It's been great.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon.